Penthouse.
So far so good though, I dey thank God oh, for giving me life today. So far so good though, I dey thank God oh, for the place where I dey today. Everybody say, Ibuni wa mo. Everybody say, Africa go mo. Ibuni wa mo. Ekisibuni wa kaito. Chai, odogu akataka. Inaputala mo benno namba. Change my story, make me rise faster. Eddie boy, I know I it's the move woman the number. Now every city done they feel the lumber. Even the most in a you be master. I buy put a law, now I got to know I got my toro chineke. I got my toro chineke mo. You get this all some. I'm a pure chibunya so the every day I go to bless you. So far so good though, I dey thank God oh, for giving me life today. So far so good though, I dey thank God oh, for the place where I dey today. Everybody say, Ibuni wa mo. Everybody say, you go mo. Africa go mo. You go mo. Ibuni wa mo. Ekisibuni wa kaito. Uchenna geme o. She tomorrow carry bele o. Nigwe kanene kwekele o. Too much love is a devil. Obajodo sogi kanna modu. Uwatuba bo sogi kanne lelo. The way you change my life, I still can't believe. If you never ono makori kochapaya. Ogozi Pampara. Pampara. Ogozi leave me high. Igirigi kenne so usamo. I'm here to do now so every day I gotta bless you. So far so good though, I dey thank God oh, for giving me life today. So far so good though, I dey thank God oh, for the place where I dey today. Everybody say, Ibuni wa mo. Everybody say, you go mo. Africa go mo. You go mo. Ibuni wa mo. Ekisibuni wa kaito. Odogu. Ha, iyele. Chai, okaga. Chai, iyele. Because you want mo. Ibuni wa mo.
Give me love, make a love. There's no other one above.
Damn fresh.
Shawty want $1 million. Say make a wire. Don't need to wanna cover my girl. She say all our friends leave me la vida loca. From me my lover. Yeah, you for there for me. You for there. When the boy they hunger, I for try for you. But you say if you don't get money, hide your face. Hide my face. Make another man picking on my way. I love you, no mean say. If you say make I put one up for fire, burn. I go put one for fire. You know mean say. If you say make I put one leg for fire.
Love, make a love. There's no one above.
Shukura kilo kosio, yeah. Shuku sheka, aya shumeka, oh. Yeah. Caroline save your drama. I don't need it, but it's so popular. Hola, hola, Mr. Olopa. I'm not here to cause wahala. Hello, diva, save your drama. You don't need me, you're so popular. Yeah, you for there for me. You for there. When the boy they hunger, I for die for you. Oh, yeah. But you say if you don't get money, hide your face. Hide my face. Make another man picking on my race. I love you, no mean say. If you say make I put one up for fire, 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 burn. I go put one for fire. You know mean say. If you say make I put one leg for fire, 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 burn. I go put leg for fire.
Give me love, make a love. There's no other one above. Dance, make a dance. Love, make a love. There's no one above.
Damn, fresh.
Yeah, you for there for me. You for there. When the boy they hunger, I for die for you. Oh, yeah. But you say if you don't get money, hide your face. Hide my face. Make another man picking on my race. I love you, no me say. If you say make I put one out for fire, 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 burn. I go put one for fire. You know me say. If you say make I put one like for fire,
Big small something.
fire burn. I go put like for fire.
I no go lie, I dey see you do. It all depends on what you want do. No pretend, make you just stay true. As you dey do me, no say you dey do you. I no go lie, I dey holla every day. I wonder why you know they look my way. I be you get you something where I never do. I be you want to make I sell my soul too. I be you get another pattern where I never know. Make you tell me, make I do the needful. Life is too short, baby report. Make me and you be our life support.
I don't wanna be a faithful husband.
I be you never know.
I just wanna be a faithful husband.
That's how the thing go. You get the one that is hard at you. You different from the whole of your crew. You get the way you dey look me too. And that is why I respect you. I know you want for us to break bread. I know you want to know what's in my head. See this love, I want it training. And it will be peaceful too. Oh yeah, baby, kia, make we link up. Make you go the people no come and start us. I guarantee you I go always defend us. As I go love you, you go make you people jealous. I just want roll, just me and you, eh. Forget whatever them do you. Happy get another pattern where I never see. Anyhow you want time, I got you and me.
I don't wanna be a faithful husband.
Happy you no go like to know.
I just wanna be a simple lover.
Ah, no let the thing go. You get in my head, it's all at you. You different from the whole crew. You get the way you dey look me too. And that is why I suspect you. I know you want for us to break bread. I know you want to know what's in my head. See this love, I want it training. And it will be peaceful too. A peaceful chilling around my way. Good loving for you all the way. I be get another pattern where you want to see. Make you tell me, make I show you for free.
I don't wanna be a faithful husband.
I don't want to be that for sure.
I just wanna be a simple lover.
Baby, let this love flow. You get the way I at you. You different from the way of your crew. You get the way you dey look me too. And that is why I suspect you. I know you want for us to break bread. I know you want to know what's in my head. See this love, I want it training. And it will be peaceful too. You get as you dey do me. You get as you dey do me. You get as
say to you, I cannot wait to see you. You are the treasure I've been waiting for. Do you know how much I really need you? I dey pray for the day when I can finally kiss you. You know say every day I dey pray for you. Oh, in my heart today is a permanent place for you. That's why my heart it dey beat like do do. Cause now you are true, so I am fairly unfair. I sing for you, wanna be like do. Baby, now you are go big, oh, I am fairly unfair. What there we go. See, I may not give the world to you, but I'll give you what I have. Oh, baby, oh, you are my angel.
Thank you for honoring our invitation to be here today. And for those of you that sat in traffic for 1-2 hours, welcome to Lagos. Nothing has changed. That's what happens in Lagos. Those of us that have been here since 6 o'clock, thank you for staying until now. We appreciate you. Today is special to all of us here in one way or the other, because the key thing that we're here for today is about building community and empowering the next generation of Nigerians. And we hopefully believe that they will change the narrative of this country. We're doing that through very key things like education and healthcare. But on top of all that is the key reason why we're here. It is the Chude and Ego Foundation. Okay? But before we go straight into that, I would like to call on someone to give us the welcome address. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Okunwa Okpala as she comes up to give us a welcome address.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Thank you. On behalf of the trustees and all the board members of Chude and Ego Foundation, I just want to officially welcome everybody for taking the time out to be with us today. We know that it's a busy season. Can everybody hear me? We know that it's a busy season, and I'm sure that there are a lot of activities and events that are vying for your time, your energy, your money. So we just appreciate all of you being here. Thank you. The Chude and Ego Foundation, Maya already said that it's very dear to all our hearts. It represents the lifelong commitment that my late father-in-law and his beautiful wife, Mrs. Teresa Ego, it represents their commitment to their community, and as the night goes along, we'll tell you about some of the works that we're doing. Our flagship project, which is the Osnon Academy. You will see and you will hear from some of the people that are working tirelessly to make this a reality. So I just wanted to say welcome officially. Also, my late father-in-law, Chude, most of us would know that he passed away earlier this year. And I just want us to stand up and observe a minute of silence in his memory. Thank you. Okay, so we're not only going to be talking about the foundation. We know it's the Christmas season. We have some entertainment. We have a wonderful lineup. I don't want to spoil it, but we have a fantastic lineup for you today. Welcome again. Thank you for coming out. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you very much. So to tell us more about the Chude and Ego Foundation, I'd like to call on someone. But before we do that, like they do on Instagram. This happens a lot on Instagram where people go like, for those of you that have been asking, even though no one asked, for those of you that have been asking, they will not tell you what they want to tell you. For those of you that asked where I got this outfit from, this is the person on the tag. But no one asked the question. No one ever asked that question. So for those of you that have been asking, my name is Maya Tafu. I am a tailor and fashion designer around Lekki, one corner there. But when my superiors call me to hold the microphone to MC occasions like this, I'm always very honored to do it. So for those of you that think that you can hire me, you sure can hire me. It's just a few $1,000s, and we can talk about the rest in VFD shares. Like I did say, there's someone to tell us more about the Chude and Ego Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Onyiye. Onyiye, please step forward. Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. How are we doing tonight? Okay, so I just want to say thank you again to everyone. I'm Onyinye Anyegu. I am one of the 6 children from Chude and Ego. So this is quite personal to us, right? At the heart of Chude and Ego is community. We believe one simple truth, really, that if our communities prosper, that our nation will prosper. So it's like we are planning to create a ripple effect, which is empower the communities, empower people in those communities, and hopefully we kind of see that spread across Nigeria. And at some point, we see it actually go bigger than Nigeria, and it goes across Africa. So Chude and Ego is all about communities. The way we want to do this is by creating access to world-class education and to healthcare. Access is the most important platform to help any communities, thrive. And so what we want to do is ensure that starting from Uga community, our strategy is simple. 1, build our own schools, which is called Osnon Academy. And in case you haven't figured it out, we'll leave the puzzle. Whoever gets it at the end, let us know what Osnon means. But the first is to build our own schools that meet international standards, schools that help us create wholesome kids, wholesome individuals that are going to become the future leaders, people that are socially conscious, people that are politically aware, people that understand that they are change agents within their communities. So building those schools is one of the ways we want to do it. It's going to be a free boarding school, and we're going to talk more about it later on. The other way we want to do this, thank you so much. Please clap. It is a massive effort. And the other way we want to do it is by actually partnering with people. We want to partner with communities. We want to partner with other NGOs. We want to partner with other charities. The thing is this, right? Everyone is doing something good somewhere. So if we put all of our efforts together, we should be able to make bigger impact. And then finally, the way we actually want to create access to education is by creating capacity. How do we get teachers, good teachers, to go into the rural areas? How do we train our teachers to be more future focused? The world of work is changing. 50% of the jobs you do now will not exist in 10 years. Literally, maybe your job might not exist in 10 years. But the most beautiful thing is that the more we keep equipping a nation and retraining people, then we're actually securing our future. And so this 3 strategy for us, we feel if we put our energy in 3 things, if we are focused in these 3 things, and we do it really well with your help, then definitely we can obviously make the impact that we want to do. So I'm going to talk a bit about Chude and Ego, because everything starts from Chude and Ego. Do you want to put up the picture? I feel like he's looking at me like it's a picture. It's meant to come on. Okay, while they're trying to figure out how to put a picture on a screen, Chude is my dad and Ego is my mom. And these are 2 people that are so committed to their community around them. I remember growing up and I used to constantly see people in my house, like constantly eating. My mom had a farm. She was one of those people that took every space. I feel like half of that farm wasn't our land, but the fact was that she would always plant something. There was always someone coming. There was always something happening. And so really, Chude and Ego is an extension of both of them. It's the work they've started, and we are putting a bit of structure to it. We're putting a bit of money to it, and hopefully we want to take it global. So it's us living their dreams and ensuring that they see the reality of their own legacy. So, oh yeah, this is Chude and Ego. Yeah, that's my parents. So I think my future is a bit bright if I look like that when I'm this old. But anyways, I just want to say thank you, right? You can find us on all your social media platforms. You can find us on our website, chude@egofoundation.org. A lot of you have donated to be here today, and we'll talk a bit more around your donations and how much we've raised. But the journey doesn't stop here. It only starts here. So really think about what would this look like going forward for you. I want you to think about what would that look like in terms of your time, your money. Yes, we would ask, we'll keep knocking, but it's really just for the impact we want to do. I believe so much in Nigeria. I truly believe in this country. Like I tell my child, this is where you come from, right? This is who you are, and it's really important. I believe we have such untapped potential, and education is going to be a big unlocker for us as a community. So thank you so much, and I'm going to be moving around, but thank you very much. And then, Maya, over to you.
A round of applause for Onyie, please. So the secondary school, I understand, is international standard. It's free. It's also a boarding school. It's going to be in Uga. I've been fortunate to visit that metropolis myself earlier this year. It's going to be in Uga, and I've been speaking to Onyinye, but asking now, the challenges that they will face in trying to build an international standard secondary school that's free in that locality. And I think that one of the things that she said that actually doubted my fears was the fact that in trying to get ahead of school, one of the people that she interviewed that looks like she's quite proficient enough to do the job actually is in Umwa here. Which is quite interesting because you probably think that the best people will be in Lagos or in Abuja, So it's quite interesting to realize that there's talent everywhere, and building capacity for the next generation is very, very key. So in as much as this is about Chude and Ego, and trying to leverage on what they already started, the bigger picture is taking it to the next level, where it's more of a community and leading to something that will empower the whole nation in general. So it's a huge task, but like you say, it's baby steps. So enough of the talking. In the meantime, because we'll be going into your pockets very soon, so they say the nice way to ease into people's pockets is, you have to serenade them and calm them down. So when you hit them hard, they won't know where it's coming from. So ladies and gentlemen, just to entertain us a little bit is someone very special to me. When people do this, I always say my sister, my brother, when they introduce artists and stuff. But for real, this one is actually my sister. We are literally from the same village in Edo State. And where I'm from in Edo State, if you meet someone that is your neighbor, the person is your twin, because we are very, very few. So in this case, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce literally the best voice, female voice in Africa without a doubt. The young people will say no cap. So literally no cap. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Waje.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Uncle Mai, no pressure. I hope everyone is having a good time. For having me. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy. Thank you. Your soldier, if you need somebody to fight for you, let me be your champion, babe. If you need somebody to win your races, let me be your bodyguard, baby. You give me the keys to your heart. Say me gonna never go nowhere, oh no. Oh.
Hey, cause it's the kind of feeling that you can't deny. My feeling tell me hear it each and every day. See, I can understand you why you're tripping this way. Why the love you to be this way. Baby, I wanna always get on it for you. You know that make me happy and that make me hate to you. All I do I pray for you. Wait till I got you. So you know the whole game it was honey, yeah. Now bring the music down. Ladies and gentlemen, I know some of you are eating, so bring the music down. I've been singing literally almost every day, so my throat is sore. But you have to bear with me because I know my talking voice sounds funny. But are you having a good time? Are you sure? Are you excited about the season? It's Christmas. Yeah? Are you sure? Because if you could, yeah, seems like they're excited over here. How about you behind? Well, now talk now. It's in the food too sweet. Huh? You having a good time? I wanna sing to you. For the ladies, because I can see all of them like, oh, hey, whether no night, whether no 1,000,000, read it up there. Baby, you got me. Baby, you got me. When I know, sing it, come on now. When I know I'm oh, baby, you got me. Baby, you got me. You're the only one that I see. One time, man. If you stay with me, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So I have a song that I'm dedicating to each and every one of you because I work a lot with foundations and I know that there's so many things going on in our lives that we'd rather focus on. But you see, someone that gives is priceless. Someone who supports is priceless, you know. And the fact that you guys are supporting education and health, those two are one of the biggest passions of my life. So this song is dedicated to you. Thank you for doing all that you do. Okay, let's go. Oh,
Please, another round of applause for YJ. Not be hype. YJ, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, please do not forget to follow us on socials. It's Chude and Ego. Follow on social media, and you can post this little shindig we're having here today. Help spread the word on what we're trying to achieve, so other people can be part of this. So we talked about, Onye spoke briefly about the Osnon Academy, okay, which is the secondary school we're trying to actually build. So we've actually made some stride in that regard, and I'm going to call someone on here to tell us more about the journey started and how far we still have to go. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Posi as he comes to tell us about the Osmond Academy.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Olakposi Lawore, not Posi. Olakposi Lawore. Developer, and like Mai said when he had his own session, we sell houses when we are not designing structures. So for us, my team and I, about a year ago, were tasked with the responsibility of designing and coming up with a concept for the project. For us, when it came to us, it was a fantastic opportunity to show that beyond designing structures just for selling and commercial purposes, we were actually able to put together an idea that's able to give back to society and actually contribute to the community in whatever way we can. So we took on the project about 11 months ago, and till date, we've been able to put together something that we think is befitting of the standard that we're trying to achieve, putting together an internationally acclaimed educational institution. My architect, she's somewhere there hiding because she knows how much pressure and the amount of intensity that actually went into this project, ensuring that we're able to put together something that's functional and also looks very nice, is aesthetically pleasing, and moreover is supposed to stand the test of time. Because if there was something that was overly emphasized by the client, which is the Chude and Ego Foundation, was the need to create something that could stand the test of time, could be functional, and could also be something that's great to see, every time you see it. So for us, building in the East was something that was a first for us, so we had to do a lot of studies, understand the climate, understand the kind of materials we need to use to ensure that that building can be there 100 years later, and each and every one of us can be proud that we were a part of it. You would see a lot of what we've done shortly in the video that we'll put up. Thank you. We look forward to each and every one of you actually contributing to something that has taken us so long to put together. So thank you. The video.
Well done. That looks amazing, and that's the dream. And with your very heavy pockets, would achieve that. So this is the point I go around and put the microphone in people's mouth, and they tell us the figure they want to actually donate as part of this, and we will write it down. We'll take your blood type, your house address, your next of kin, your bank statement, your bank account details, and your PIN number. So we won't behave like Nigerians that say $50 million, and when we try to get the money from you, it's a problem. So I wonder who I should start with, because that's the reason why we're here today, to get money from people's pockets. But we won't do that just yet, because when I call some people now, they'll start getting worried. But to tell us a little bit more and about the foundation, also about the first project, which is the educational project, which is led by the Academy. I'd like to call on a few people for a small panel session, which I'm moderating, just to ask a few questions to give us in-depth understanding about this project. Please, if I call you on as one of the panelists, I'd like you to introduce yourself, tell us what you do, and tell us what you also do as it relates or it concerns the Chude and Ego Foundation, and specifically the Academy. Okay, so I'm going to call on 3 people. The first person I'll be calling on here is no other than Nonso Opara. Please, can you start? I got an executive chair for you here, sir. Yes. Please, we like to do this thing. We say, please introduce. For those of you that may not know who he is, please introduce yourself to them. Tell them what you do, and also your relationship with this particular project.
So my name is Nonso Opala, and I have the rare privilege of working for a fantastic company called VFD Group. I'm a member of the Board of Trustees of the Chude and Ego Foundation. And I have the best friends in the world. Every single one of you that is here today to support this cause. You would want to clap for yourselves. Including Ade that will be here till the end of the program.
Thank you very much. The next person I would like to call on will be Onye. Onye, please, can you step forward? Put a round of applause for her as she steps forward. You know, introduce yourself before. We'd like to hear you again. Please have a seat there. But you can take the microphone.
Oh, there's a microphone. All right. So hi, I'm Onyinye Anyegbu. I'm the CEO for Chude and Ego Foundations, and I'm Nonso's younger sister. And what else should I say? A bit about myself? Some more?
As it concerns the project.
As it concerns the project. How did you poach me? You blackmailed me. That's how you poached me. Exactly, A1 in blackmailing. But it wasn't so hard to fall for the blackmail because it's something that I'm quite passionate about, and it's part of family, is an extension of who I am.
Thank you very much. Last but by no means the least person I'll be calling on to join the panel session is Joy. Isa, please, can you step forward? A round of applause for her as she steps forward.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Joy Isa. I have been in education across Nigeria since 1996, working in international schools in Kaduna, Abuja, and Lagos. Right now, I work internationally as president of a women's university, teacher training, focus on teacher training college. How I got to know this amazing couple they sort of found me somewhere. And I said a few things. And Nonso says, it seems you know what you're talking about. I said, I think so too. So it wasn't blackmail for me at all. It was, and then we, had a conversation, and then he called me and said, look, I think you should come and, work on the board. I'm like, yeah, I'm always happy to serve, because it is important to understand that not everyone has access. And so when people who have access provide that access to others, it's an amazing opportunity to give, meaningful giving. And so it was very easy for me to join this amazing company. So thank you.
Thank you very much. So I'll ask a few questions. I'll start with Nonso. So if you pass the microphone to Nonso. So Nonso, the question to you is, why is the flagship project of the foundation in education?
I think it's because education is easier. Because the focus is healthcare and education. And you know that for healthcare, there's a level of specialization, there's a level of equipment requirement, there's a whole array of things that makes it extremely difficult to pull through relative to education, right? And of course, I had the rare privilege of meeting Joy Issa, who made it more or less realizable in my head. Sometimes you run around with ideas, not knowing how to bet it, until you meet someone that tells you it's possible, someone that tells you that your ideas are validated by reality, and someone that has worked in schools that you've admired all the time. And if she says it's possible, then to a large extent, you get excited about it, and then you set the wheels in motion to realize it. So that's why it's education. Healthcare, way difficult. We will get to crack it, hopefully, when the network of friends that we have is way bigger than this, and then we'll see it through. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just a quick one, yeah? Tell us a little bit more about the Osnon Academy.
Yeah, so Osnon Academy, I remember the first day I tried to pen down what's Osnon Academy going to be all about. I was telling you this story of my daughter, and I realized that the way she asked questions and the way she's going through education at the moment is totally different from how I went through education and how I was challenging anything, at that age. And I was really fascinated at the way they teach them and the kind of exposure they have. And so I really wanted to ensure that when we are trying to write down our vision for Osnon Academy, it was able to kind of put together that touch of change agent leadership kind of thing. And so Osnon Academy is a free boarding school. It's going to be co-educational. It's a boarding school because we really want to give the kids the space to learn, to challenge them, and also we want them to be able to grow that confidence to challenge their society as well. We want to see people that will come out from Osnon Academy, and there will be people all around the world that we could hear about. And so Osnon Academy is going to be a bedrock of learning. It's going to be a bedrock of social consciousness. I know I keep saying it, but the world is changing so fast and so quickly. And we really want to ensure that the school provides all that kind of framework and facility to help mold the kids. And also we want to leverage network really well, right? We want to give people internships. We want to expose them to the world of work. We want them to have mentors. We want them to have coaches. And so we want to leverage all of the tools in the toolbox per se and pull all of that together. And that really is Osnon Academy. So it's going to be a school, not just in within the four walls, but it's going to be a school that kind of breaks the mold around learning and around leadership and all of that. So yeah, that's Osnon Academy.
Fantastic. Sure, not the kind of school that I went to, but yes, we've passed that stage now. Joy, I just want to quickly ask, why is the governing board of Osnon Academy important?
It's important to have professionals lead an industry. So you won't go to a hospital and, the doctor says, well, I didn't quite graduate, but I was very good in class. And I set up this hospital and we have the best equipment. Nobody's going to go there. So what we've done is we have pulled professionals together, people who don't just talk the talk, like Nonso said, people who have experience in international schools in Nigeria, professors, things like that, to be able to provide benchmarking, standardization, accountability, so that all the wonderful things she said, it's all well and good to say you're going to graduate people who are professionals and who can think, can innovate, but who's making sure, for example, that the assessments at the end of year 7 is Form 1, at the end of GS1, Term 2, they have some projects that are assessing entrepreneurship, innovation, and creativity. So it's not just, okay, you have to pass maths and English and chemistry and physics. What are you doing with maths, English, physics, and chemistry? So I'm a teacher, so I like to tell stories. So many years ago when I was still teaching in class, I gave my students first lesson. We were just talking, and I wrote a question on the board. What do you know about forces around us? So I will ask you, and you just call out words. What do you know about forces around you? Call out words or phrases. Anything you know about forces. No, nobody is like 70 years old here, except mommy. So you should still know something about forces. From business, what do you know about forces? Pardon? Okay, force. From science, there's mass
times acceleration.
Exactly. Mass is doing something, you accelerate depending on increased weight. Exactly. That's physics. From business, about forces from business. Demand and supply, excellent. From politics, what do you know about forces? The students, yes, power is a force. There's something else. It starts with an I. Pardon? Influence, exactly. These were 10-year-olds and they came up with these words. We asked questions, we pushed, so what do you know about forces? And how did they get the business one? I said, so imagine if all the schools students had to wear red socks to school. What will happen to the people making white socks? Oh, they'll run out of money, so they need to make more red socks. So the demand determines what's going on. At the end of that conversation, I asked the students to write up. So answer the question, what do you know about forces? And one of the students asked, so which book should we write this in? Is it science? Is it creative writing? Is it? And that's exactly the goal. We're not going to teach students in silos to say, okay, this is maths, put it aside. This is English, put it aside. We want our students to be able to integrate this learning so they can answer a question like, what do you know about forces? And hit all these different areas.
Amazing. Just to tell a small story to myself. There's no story. I once heard this guy that owns MD of Tesla. His name skips me because I hate the money that he has. He was saying something about teaching kids how to be practical in what they do, which I'm kind of relating this to what you're saying about the academy. It's like instead of telling them this is a screwdriver and this is a spanner, it tells them this is an engine, please dismantle it. So while they're trying to dismantle it, they'll figure out that I need a tool and that tool can, then they use the tool to do that. And it's saying that that's the only way they will learn faster and better, rather than telling them this is what you use it to do. You will never experience what it can do. So this really excites me. I wish I could be a student, but that's a long time away from now. I'm pitching. I'm pitching. I'm always a student. You have your first student, JS1. There was something, this question goes to you. We're having a chat, and you're saying something about organic growth for the academy, where you're starting with JS1, and when JS1 goes to JS2, then you take JS1. Then when JS2 goes to JS3, then you take new ones for 1, then 2. Can you please just elaborate on that a little bit for the other guys to understand?
Yes, definitely. So our plan is to grow organically. And what we want to do is we want to take our first entrance of students. And to be honest, we also want to test a lot of the things we're going to be doing. So I think it's important that we take our first entrance. Our ambition is to have 20 kids, gender split, 50-50. Have those kids come in, test all of the curriculum and extracurricular activities with our professionals on the board, and really ensure that we embed what we're trying to do, because one of the things that I'm really passionate about is for us to break out from the mold. And so we're going to start with JSS1, our first growth. When they graduate to JSS2, then we have another 20 slots. We bring in another JSS1. And so what will happen is our inaugural students, per se, that start from JSS1 they will grow with us through that whole process. And then when they graduate, hopefully we have partnerships with really good universities that they can get scholarships into, or that scholarships will provide, or if they decide they don't want to go to uni and they want to go to business, or they want to be a chef, whatever that is, we want to ensure that we give them the opportunity. And so it's important that we learn as we grow, and just to ensure that we do it right, and also create a model that we can actually replicate in other places, and also give people that want to replicate it that opportunity as well. So we're going to kind of grow organically, learn, build our our strategy, build everything, and hopefully become a standard to be used internationally.
I have just an addition to that. What if somebody wants to, we Nigerians now. I've heard about this school. School's amazing. It's been running 3 years. And I think this is exactly what my daughter needs. Can I push her to just join JS3? Because she's of the age of JS3, and I think she's of the status to jump into JS3 without going through the prerequisites. I consider the fact that I know you guys, so my connection, would that be possible?
Unfortunately not, because we're trying to create a product, if you will. And so if you that's another reason why it's a boarding school. We have to embed the students into this learning environment to create the learning culture. And so when you don't start from the beginning and go all the way through, it's difficult to, reprogram the thinking. And so for us, it's important to take from JS1 and you go through all the way through with us.
There won't be any master class to just get them from that point to the... No, like Nigeria, we have master classes everywhere.
It takes time.
Okay.
Train a mind. It takes time.
There's a question from here.
What's the selection process for the initial JS1 students?
Selection process for the first. Okay, there will definitely. We believe there will be more than 20 students who will apply. Unfortunately, we have to make it assessment based, so based on merit. It's open to everyone to try out. And the first 20, basically.
Yes. Okay, and I think just to add on that, totally, we will do assessments, but one thing we also we'll try and think about is how do we start using psychometrics early? Because I think the beautiful thing about being able to assess potential is also knowing what to actually put in place to help growth. And so it is going to be as anyone. We're not going to put a fees, and we're also going to work with primary schools in the community to let them know that this is what we want to do. And so with primary schools, we get those entrants, they go through the assessment process, and hopefully we'll be calling you some more to give us some more money to ensure that we do it really well. But thank you.
Great.
1 million.
Is that dollars, naira, or pounds?
It says 1 million.
So people are asking what psychometric means or is.
Oh, it's
people.
Okay. Simply put, psychometric tests. How do you think? You have done. I'm sure you've done a lot of them. If you do any
last man does it here when you take one way.
Personality tests.
Yeah,
simple personality tests, like the 16personalities.com. You have. They test your psychology. Basically, how you're thinking, how you process information. Do you think in straight lines, in squiggly lines, in abstraction, things like that? Again, so it's a combination: academic tests, psychometric tests.
Now, so just a quick question: what legacy do you expect for Osnon Academy?
Well, just to touch on the points that you asked her initially about feeding the first year before the second year and all that. I think from an accounting mindset, you want to be conservative about funding, right? I have fantastic supporters and backers, but most importantly, you want the school to endure. You want it to be stable. And so if you start with the first set, go through that learning curve, it's fair on your funding, but also fair on your learning process. Because it's easy to aspire towards so many of these things, but reality always tells you that you have to learn on the job. And so that's really one of the reasons why it was important that we start small, right? Speaking to your question, I would generally give a general context, and then I will come to answer the question specifically. I have predominantly two families here, right? I have my biological family and I have my business family. And today when I was thinking about the message for this whole project, it struck me that on the biological side and on the business side, there's no one member of those families that would have made it through life without education, right? There's really nothing we came to the world with but education. And I had the rare privilege of parents that were willing to sacrifice all to see us go through school. In fact, going through school, I thought we were rich, right? Because, I got the best provisions. I got visited regularly. If my mom didn't visit me, I would pull the heavens down, right? And I knew families that were rich that did not get all those privileges I had. So I always thought I was rich, right? But it was the sacrifice that they made. And I can tell you on all the respective families, Zubi here, well, there are two Zubis on the angle. There's Nii, there's Bolaji, there's Emeka. Every single one of them would have beat the dust if not for education. And so for me, what was most important was to think about a way of delivering that same opportunity I got from my parents to people that competitively deserve that opportunity, right? And in terms of the legacy I would expect from Osnon Academy, I have set it out into phases of evaluation. The first will be the first 3 years. The second is the first 6 years. The third will be 10. The fourth will be 15. And the last will be 20. In 20 years, I would expect that we have a set of... So after 6 years, the first set comes out, right? So we are left with 14 years. And after 14 years, let's say they do 5, right? So they do 5 years. You have 9 sets of university graduates from the Osnon Academy. Which means that I want to look through the profile of the inaugural students and see them at mid-level management in corporate works, or see them at expertise level in vocational issues, or see them at budding entrepreneurs, right? So they are making a difference in a niche or in a mainstream side of the economy. that really validates all the sacrifice that everybody here and out of this place would make to giving them a fighting chance in life. So I want to see change, guys. I want to see people that would initiate change. I want to see people that would provide some catalytic angle to turning the way the economy is run and how education is viewed in the country and outside the country too.
Fantastic. Please, a round of applause. This question
I think someone had a question. Oh, now he's talking.
This question can be split between Onyinye and Joy, who deems it more appropriate to answer. We decided to start with education. Why secondary school education? Why not primary, which seems to be more of a foundation? Why secondary school? Because you could be secondary school, you've lost 6 years of actually building capacity of the kind of mindset you want. So why don't you do primary? Why decide to do secondary?
Should I go first?
I can start from the psychologist's point of view. Usually the formative, like the milestone ages are age 6 and age 12. So by the time you're hitting age 12, which is when you're entering, like Form 2, second year in secondary school, you would begin to be set in your ways to form your ideologies, your thinking patterns, etc. So for us, again, it was important to be able to invest in the community in the area of highest need. All across Nigeria, there are a lot more primary schools than secondary schools. You have women or girls who drop out more from end of primary school than halfway JS3. They drop out more in northern Nigeria than in southern Nigeria, but there are fewer secondary schools than primary schools in Nigeria, and so it made sense to, start off with secondary school.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that really is the basis of the reason behind that decision. The other thing I found quite fascinating was that the drop-off rate, like Joy has just mentioned, is as high as 20% plus between primary school to secondary school, and so you can imagine that's like a whole generation right there in that middle, and we want to ensure that we give them that opportunity. And so why secondary school? That's the reason. But it doesn't mean we're not going to touch primary schools, right? I remember I've been screening for like head of schools to bring to the board, and one of the questions, I had asked one of the candidates, and I said, what would you do to create strong leaders, right? And he said something that was quite profound. He's like, the biggest attribute of a leader is someone who learns. And so learning agility I feel for me is one of the big things I'm going to put my energy into. And the way I would want to do it with the kids is that I want them to learn from growing something and eating it. I want them to learn from going to be coaches and mentors to other primary schools, and he kind of painted this thing for me that I thought was really cool. And so yes, we are not going to be building primary schools, but that doesn't mean we're going to be hands off from primary schools.
Okay, great. Still wishing I could go to this school. And you touched on something that was quite interesting, because I was talking to a friend of mine recently, and she said her kids thought that rice grew from ShopRite. They had no idea there were farms and it grew from the soil and came up. It just thought that ShopRite was the point the food came from. And they started a farm after that. So the kids go to the farm in Ekpe now every weekend, and they now enjoy the process of seeing that happen. So it's quite interesting. My daughter said the expects that baby brother will come from ShopRite. So we're working on that. At least it's not from me, it's from ShopRite, so I'm free. So we keep talking about funds here, and we want to contribute more, donate money, but Nigerians will donate money and want to actually see how the money is going, how the kobo is spent. And individuals, we don't know how to hold our government, or we know how to hold ourselves to ransom when it comes to it. Like I gave you 20 naira, but I want a breakdown of the first 50 kobo in the 20 naira as you are building this thing. So we want to know who will be the funds custodians. A lot of people here come.
Okay, just to elaborate on the governance structure, with particular reference to how the funds will be managed. I think from the foundation perspective, it's important to realize that the key job of the foundation, right, is to create the environment and the opportunity to raise funds for the school. And then instill some level of governance. But once that money is raised, hands off, we put it in the custody of the endowment fund. Right? What the endowment fund is charged to do is A, provide funding to build the school based on the directive of the governance board of the school. Because the governance board will say, this is the, we have this design that is already up here. I'm sure they are going to review it sometime in January. And they would say, we don't want this here, we want it here, we want this done this way and all that stuff. So they give the direction on how the funds should be spent. So there is the foundation whose responsibility is chief fundraiser, right? Not an easy task, but, we're willing to do it with a lot of partnership, with a lot of collaboration, with a lot of donors, and with a lot of sponsors. But once that's done, we make the funds available to the endowment fund, right? The endowment fund board. And their responsibility is to make the best of it in terms of establishing the school. The second is to maintain the excess funds and work with the foundation to grow it to the point where the endowment in itself, the returns on it on an annual basis, will be able to take care of the running of the school. Now, once that's done and that cycle is created, then we have a school that can self-sustain. Then we can now look at being busy with respect to a different school in a different location, maybe in Ni's place, maybe in Deepa's place, maybe in Femi's place, depending on who's willing to take on that responsibility and provide the partnership platform. But once we're done with that, then the work of the endowment fund board to maintain and get the best return from it continues. The work of the governance board to ensure that the school standard is preserved and the quality of students that they bring ultimately out of it for every 6 years is the one that we've set ab initio for the process. Of course, you would have situations of regular audits that will be done. We would like although I invited them, KPMG or PwC or any of these big majors to serve as the auditors, so that there's that platform of assurance and trust that allows us to open up either to get retail type funding or international type funding. And once that door is opened, then we can start doing multiple schools in different locations, wrap it up with the endowment process to keep it and allow it to endure, and just make the counts go.
Thank you very much. And I think this is going to be my last question that will have parting words from everybody that is seated on the panel session. I want to ask, how can the donors and sponsors also help the foundation in the long run? Apart from giving all the money that they have in their lives, but how else can they help in the long run?
Yeah, there are so many ways. So the first thing is you can either be a donor, which is you give. That could either be long-term pledged giving, or that could be one-off giving, right? Or that could even be part of you helping us raise funds as well, and then give that to us. So there are different ways you can actually give, and we'll be sharing all of that a bit more. Then the other way that we would need them to partner with us is also their time. You'll be amazed just the value of time to kids, what that looks like. I would expect and hope that when we ask you, Maya, for example, to help go run a session on fashion or just to inspire them on how to think outside of the box, just seeing them, hearing your journey would inspire them. and also your access, right? If people want to intern with you, what's that criteria you need from us? We want to ensure that we be able to meet that criteria with our kids, and you provide that access for them. So your time, access to your network, to your business, and also importantly is just that's, I guess, strategic collaborations, right? Where there is a good idea, let us know. We're so interested, right? If there's a way you could help us think about something differently, let us know. So it is, we want a lifelong relationship. There's no doubt about it. That's our ask. That's our first ask. How that relationship evolves, we would hope, would be through your finances, through your time, and through access.
Okay, thank you very much. So to our donors and sponsors here today, it's not just the money. We also need you in all capacity. And so thank you very much.
And can I just add, right?
Yes, please.
Just fingertips. We've got all of the account details in here. So you can like save this on your phone, put it in your direct debit, and just like make sure that you help us as much as possible. But also, well, you know.
What page is that?
This is page 7.
Yeah, so everyone flip to page 7. This
page 7.
Very important information in page 7.
We take naira, we take dollars, we take pounds.
We don't discriminate in any currency at all. This sounds like one of those NSCCP things you hear, and with a direct debit of $10,000 a month, you could help raise the next Nigerian president. Don't be shy. Do it now.
Yes, please.
You'll be growing a community and a society. But thank you very much. Just a round of applause for everyone who has sat there today. No, don't leave. We like to appreciate people. You know, when it comes to greeting and congratulating, like Yoruba people, ekabo. 2 hours later, ekabo. We're like that. But please, just final word from everyone seated there, please, to us this way. Anything you want to tell us just before you leave the panel session. So just final words, parting words, please.
Okay, I'd like to say thank you so much for coming, and thank you so much for even being interested in this. You'll be surprised that not many people are interested in supporting education because there's not too much fanfare around it, and you might not see physical returns on your investment immediately because it's long term. But this is an amazing opportunity, and I really, really want to say thank you so much for joining us to build this legacy institution. Thank you.
Love it. I think just in reflection, I was telling the copywriter who was writing with me once, I was like, this is my crazy idea, right? That the next person from one of Osnona's academies, you know, across Africa, right, would be your next, you know, Mark Zuckerberg. It would be your next, you know, he'll be the next someone, right, that would change the course of history so dramatically that, you know, we'll have to do things differently. So parting word is the future is exciting and is bright. So partner with us and stick with us.
So mine is when we started the plan for this gala, myself and Okunwa were discussing, and we said, okay, we are going to match whatever donation we get or proceeds of ticket sales that are made. And I found that I started asking for the profile of proceeds of ticket sales, and when it started getting to 100 million, I told Okunwa, I said, Okunwa, what if this thing gets to 200 million? What are we going to do? You know? So my parting words is, we are quite excited about the support. Your support has challenged us quite a lot, and we will be responding to all the contributions that have been made, and we will sacrifice whatever needs to be sacrificed to ensure that we match all that you have put together, just to show how much we are committed to this, and we'll continue to appreciate all that you've done. We'll continue to provide feedback to you so that you know what progress has been achieved. And as far as I'm concerned, I would like to let Onye know that as far as someone has made a contribution of ₦1, we should consider that person a member of the foundation. And we should hold that person and make a family out of that person, and then continue to encourage that person to support this project as we go along. So thank you very much, and I'm delighted to have all of you here, including our on the bench, Valo Zibu and his very beautiful wife, His Excellency.
Our Excellency.
Thank you for making our time to be part of us. So yeah, that's my last word.
So this matching of this, is it for perpetuity?
My atafo.
I'm just checking. I let that word in VFD.
So yeah. So what we would do is, right, you bring up a kid and you pray that the kid grows. And you also pray that the kid goes way beyond you, right? So at this point in time, to the extent of our support, we would always match whatever is donated, right? Because the reality is that you are making it possible. And this project is dear to my heart, that I would willingly sacrifice increasingly as we progress in life, right? But I also pray that it stretches way beyond me. It's not supposed to be a one-man thing. It's not supposed to be a family thing. It's supposed to be taken by the world, adopted by the world, and empowered by the world. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Also, all the panelists, thank you very much, Nonso. Thank you very much, Onye, and thank you very much, Joy. She has to leave us really quick. Thank you. I hope after that panel session, we kind of get a very clear, or even a clearer picture of what we're trying to do with the first project under the Chude and Ego Foundation. I think this is brilliant, and I'm excited about the Academy. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited about the Academy. And it's been made clear to me several times that I can't be a student, but obviously I can be a sponsor and a donor, not just with money, but my time and access, which I'm very happy to grant.